Hi, this is Robert Clinkybeard and David Anderson with the Commercial Landscapers Podcast. We're going to take 20 minutes of your life to deliver some amazing content from accomplished leaders and business owners and provide you some value that you can take back to your business, your family, and your personal life and transform your life. We hope you really enjoy this. Cheers, everyone. Okay. Jim Ray, happy to have you on to the Landscaper podcast today. Thank you, Jim, for joining me today.
Thank you. Thanks very much for asking. And nice to hear a fellow Scottish person, even though you're in the US and I'm in Edinburgh.
Yeah. What time is that across here right now, Jim?
So it's just about 8:40 p.m. So we're about 5 hours in front of you.
Cool. Well, I really appreciate you taking up some of your personal time to join us. And, you know, I'm trying to expand my offerings to different people around the world and how they've been successful in business. And, you know, everybody throughout different countries have experienced a lot of challenges this year.
Sure. Yeah.
So maybe let's start off with tell people about your background, Jim.
So I've got a slightly different background from a business perspective to most. So I was a pro soccer player here in the UK, which I did for a number of years until I decided that I actually didn't really like doing that as a job, as it wasn't quite as much fun anymore when it was your job. So I decided to get into business, and I was lucky enough to join Xerox when I was still relatively young, and I went through all my sales, marketing, and management training in Xerox. Spent a bit of time in the US and down in London, and it was the best grounding I had. They taught me so much, and the culture of training was amazing. The culture of reward for doing a great job was amazing, and for somebody who was quite competitive, clearly from a professional sporting background, absolutely, I was always quite keen to win. So I went and worked with a number of companies. I bought my first company in 2004, and I've bought and sold a few companies since then, and created our technology business in 2013. We're global headquarters are in Edinburgh, and we also have a US office in South Carolina, and we have somebody working with us in Atlanta and Georgia as well.
Cool. Just real quick, what's the name of your company, just so people know, and just give your 30-second elevator pitch on what they do? Sure.
So our company is called Docs24, and we are a tech-enabled process outsourcing company. We build branded content platforms for our clients, and we protect our brand. We manage content on a global basis. We make it accessible to people, or to people who are allowed to see certain things. We've created data algorithms and bespoke parts of the software where people can change imagery and text really quickly. And we have a global network of digital printing suppliers that we can move documents around the world and have things produced locally rather than one place and shipped. So for our largest client's a US client, we save them about $7 million a year just on our FedEx shipping costs.
That's crazy.
And we're returning about 52,000 hours to them a year from what they were doing before to using our technology platforms.
Right. I mean, on that point, I mean, people talk these days about the challenges with trying to find labor, and the fact that you're saving all those hours. I mean, that must be really attractive when you're having conversations with other companies interested in your services.
Sure, and I mean, we provide lots of different things under our umbrella, as it were, from translating into variable languages to designing content, and a multitude of things in between. And we always say that if people have got the time, they can find every individual component part probably cheaper than us. But what we do by streamlining that whole process is we give back all of that lost time, because that's one thing you can never get back is time. You can, if you've got the time, you can look for things, and but you have to manage the whole process yourself. So our real selling point is the time that we give back to our clients, because that's the most valuable thing that they've got.
Yeah. So one of the things you touched on a few minutes ago was your background coming from Xerox and how they provided a tremendous base for you, especially coming into buying other businesses. What would be the top three things that you feel as though you've taken from what you learned and applied into your business? Because we've had previous conversations how your business is doing really well this year. A lot of other companies out there are really struggling with COVID.
Yeah.
But what are some of the main principles that you've applied from your earlier career?
Well, you can have a number of these things, but the biggest thing that we've spent all our time on is building the culture of our company. We rebranded our business a couple of years ago, and we created a culture book, and every member of our team got involved in creating that, of what life was like within Docs 24, what was important to us, how we treated each other, how we treated our clients, and that culture book was done initially for new employees coming into the company. But it's actually became the most powerful piece of marketing that we've ever done. And a lot of our clients say it's great getting all your marketing, because that tells us what you do, that this is great because it really shows us who you are. And we've kind of taken that cultural piece, and for any investors that we've got, we use that as part of the process. So, and we've turned people away who were wanting to be involved in the company because the cultural fit wasn't right, and we do it with our clients as well. And one of the most difficult things to do is turn clients or potential clients away. So we've always been pretty brave to say they are just not going to work for us, and the fit isn't right, so it's going to drain time and energy out of everybody. So, and that's not been arrogant in any way, and I hope it doesn't sound that way. It's just, it makes life easier for everybody. And once you've got the right cultural fit, especially with your clients, they tend not to leave you. And in fact, we've since 2013, we've never had one client that's left us.
Wow, that's really impressive.
So I'm really, really proud of that.
Now, how do you share that information? I mean, do you send them your book, or how do you, because a lot of people will have their core values, which they're, a lot of their culture is based around, but it just sits pretty much in a drawer, or maybe it's sitting on the wall. It does not actually lived. How do you share that with your team and your clients?
So with the team, that's is a living, breathing document. So we all have that document, and we all live it on a daily basis. When we're speaking to a client, it's one of the things that we always send them as our culture book, because it's really important for us that our clients know the type of people that they are going to be working with and what's important to us, because what's important to us is ultimately is our clients, because you can create dazzling technology platforms and do lots of really cool things, but if you can't keep your clients, then it's all for nothing.
Right, that's true. It's all very well winning business, but if there are a bunch of them going out the back door,
Yeah,
you're just spinning your wheels. And I think people don't quite realize the costs of that turnover, whether it be clients or employees.
yeah, for sure. And our employees are, and it sounds a little bit corny, but are kind of each other's friends as well. We've all got a very specific job to do, but I'm the CEO of the company, but I'm not any more important or less important than anyone else. We are all there to do the best that we possibly can for our business and for our clients. And
Right.
we all get our sleeves rolled up, and we all help each other.
That's great. With you being the CEO, are you the main driver of culture within your company? Do you have one other person in the company who's that rah-rah, that culture coach, or do you just feel as though everybody just steps up and
Yeah, so from an external point of view, and speaking to business partners or clients, then I'll certainly be the person that drives that. Internally, it's driven by everybody.
right?
And what I mean by that is, if there would be behaviours or the way in which we deal with things that just wouldn't be acceptable to us internally, and our colleagues would notice all of these things, and they would deal with it in a very polite and respectful way. But we've spent all of that time building the culture, and it's what's actually helped to develop and grow and make our company successful. Because we are, and I get interviewed by lots of different people and magazines over in the UK in particular, and I've always said, if you're only strong as the weakest link you've got in the business. And I've always had the opinion that if I'm the weakest link, then we're in a pretty good, solid place.
Right. Yeah, I like that.
Because, I always want to employ people who are brighter and smarter than I am, because it makes my life easier, and we know that we're on the right path with our clients and our development as a business and their self-development. And we tend to employ younger people. So, our culture is around developing younger members of the staff for development within the company and moving into higher and more senior roles. So we've got quite a young, vibrant group who love working with us, and we love having them there. And they'll be with us for years to come. They'll all move into senior positions as we continue to bring new members of the team in, and they will continue to drive that culture and the ethos that's making the company successful at the minute.
Yeah. And that's actually really refreshing to hear, because there's so many companies that I come across or meet, and they have a slightly backward view in terms of the CEO, the founder, feels as though they have to be the smartest one in the room, so they want everybody to be beneath them. And then secondly, I hear so many complaints talking about the younger generation, millennials or whatever, and just the work ethic. And, my answer typically to them is, well, they're not going away, so why not embrace them? Why not create what they're looking for, create that culture that they could be with you for years, use their talents they have?
Yeah, and when we recruit new staff, we recruit them based on our culture book, not on the skill sets that they have.
Right.
So generally, if people are coming for a job that is potentially as a graphic designer in our business, then they can generally do that job. But I would guess that over the last 3 or 4 people that we've employed, each of them were not technically the best at the job in the interview process, but they were the best cultural fit.
Okay.
I've got a very strong opinion that you can teach people to be better at their job technically, but you can never you can never change who people are. So we always employ people on the person and the fit into our culture and business.
Right.
And we can go and teach them the technical bits and make them stronger.
No, that's important.
So I don't think we would have, in the last number of recruits we've got, have recruited technically the best people.
Right. No, that's great. That's great feedback. One of the things you shared recently was you've had some really tremendous success with some of your sales numbers. You're seem to be breaking records.
Yeah. So so this month, this is the end of the month, of course, today. So we've driven sales this month 72% higher than the highest ever month that we've had as a company, which is quite amazing. And I'd actually set some fun goals because the numbers were getting so crazy.
Right.
Set some goals for the team, so we don't set individual goals because of the culture I've explained. It's all about everybody. So if we all succeed, we all benefit. If we fail, we all fail.
Right.
So we don't want to be pointing fingers. And in my opinion, if you incentivize individual people with different incentives, the first thing they're looking after is themselves and not the team and the company. So we do it as a group. So I set some fairly unrealistic goals for all of us, and these guys were having meetings about how can we do this? How if we get in touch with these clients, and they were phoning every single client, every single job that we had in the pipeline. They were just driving that stuff in. And,
so dialing for dollars.
Dialing for dollars. And, I was the happiest person to pay quite a big bonus to each of them today. So they all deserved it. And it was an amazing performance. By next month, we will have went through the whole of last year's revenue targets with 2 months to go. And given that we had 3.5 months of zero revenue when we went into lockdown in the UK, it's a pretty spectacular result.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I think we have, in that time, we in the time where we had no client activity because everyone was locked into their house, we used Teams and we recreated some of the marketing content we had. We figured out who we needed to get to that we hadn't spoken to. We ramped our marketing up tenfold. Became really innovative, and we got closer to all of our clients than we've ever done.
Right. And so you didn't sit back in your laurels. You just didn't get sucked into all the negativity. You were out there hustling.
Yeah, and I mean, COVID is a pretty dreadful pandemic that we are all in, and there will be business winners and business losers, and I wasn't going to be one of these losers.
Right.
So we just there was things within our technology platforms that needed to improve. That gave us the time to do it.
Right.
Parts of our marketing we needed to ramp up. We did that. There was conversations that we were having with our clients, and we actually had more meetings via Teams with our clients than I could get face to face.
Right.
You could jump on and off for 30 minutes.
Right, that's great.
And we just spent much more time with our clients than we did before, because we knew when we came out of this, when things started to get to some sort of normality, we wanted them only thinking of Docs24 because we'd spent all our time helping them in that period. And with the new companies that were working with us, we also figured that none of them were going to be able to run their businesses the same way after COVID than they did prior to it. So everyone would want to be leaner, smarter, faster, more innovative. They may not have had the same amount of staff. They might not have the same amount of money. So our platforms save all of that time and money. So we were actually in a pretty good position. But of course, you have to go and execute all of that.
Yeah.
People are not going to come to you. You have to get to them constantly. You have to be speaking to these people all the time.
Yeah, you have to almost identify what they're looking for, what's going to make their life easier. And then, as you say, the important part is the execution.
Yeah. So, and we knew that we've got, and we recently won a global technology innovation award.
Nice.
Which we were really thrilled about because it was one of our clients that put us forward for this.
Oh, okay.
And so then we've started to use that, and that's really helped us. We've also recently been voted one of the top 50 places to work, which from a cultural point of view, it's fantastic. And that's all down to the guys and girls in the company who are doing a great job. But yeah,
cool. Well done.
It's just we contacted our clients constantly. We contacted prospects. We created new marketing. We figured that they would be worried about certain things, and we pinpointed what they would likely be, and we created innovative solutions to try and resolve some of their problems before they even thought it might be a problem.
Right. Cool. Well, I'm really impressed with what you've done with your company, Jim, and breaking all these records, getting all these awards. Very, very impressive. We're running out of time here, but if people want to get in touch with you, Jim, just to find out about your company or your culture book, how would they do that?
So they can get in touch with me directly, and my email address is it's very simple. It's jim@docs24.co.uk, or our website is www.docs24.co.uk, and there's an inquiries area there. And if anyone has any questions or wants to understand further about how we've been doing things, doesn't necessarily mean that people want to do business with us. If I can help anyone know who's having some of the challenges that we've found, I'll be more than happy to help them.
Cool. Awesome. Well, Jim, thank you for your time today. It's been very informational. I think people get some good takeaways from this. So thank you again for your time.
Pleasure. Have a great day.
Okay, you too.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Hopefully that was pure dead brilliant for you today, and you got some great takeaways for your business or your personal life. This is Robert Clinkybeard along with David Anderson, and we'd love to get you and your friends to join us in our future journey. So please subscribe through our website, commerciallandscapers.com, or through the various podcast channels out there. But anyway, hopefully you have an awesome day. Cheers.